for the record?
My name is Brian Taylor from Stenbeck and Taylor, civil engineers and land surveyors, hailing from Marshfield.
And Brookman Road, Pembroke, Pennsilvania.
And the property in question is Holstein Roofing, and there's another house, a single-family residence between that and the sheet metal company, directly opposite the old supermarket. South Franklin Street's right down here. So I had contacted Brooke initially back in June, and then in July, we were asked to come out and do some reconnaissance on the site, and there was, the assemblage of the property was being done. We were working for Cornell Federal. So when I looked at it, I first saw a drainage swale, and Brooke does all our wetland work and consulting work, so I asked her, could you put it on our schedule once we get things moving further along, to come out and take a look at it. And she's done so. So this is the existing conditions plan. This show, the swale comes here. It's culverted here with a 12-inch corrugated steel pipe under the driveway. This is kind of the staging area for the roofing company. This is all open swale, very gradual shoulders. And the same thing here, open swale. And then it drops into a drop inlet here. It's located off the street layout. And that drop inlet has an 18-inch RCP going out of it. Then, of course, it flows down the street, down to the bottom of the hollow, and goes in the supermarket property, and then goes back into the Brook system on that side of the street. So, what we were planning on doing, if it seems amenable, and would be preparing full site plans, is to just pick up the existing drainage swale with a head wall, run an 18-inch RCP, which is probably more than needed, because obviously this 12-inch doesn't constrict flow, but since it's going into an 18, I'll just carry with an 18-inch to a manhole here, and then do a 20-foot easement on the property, completely out of the layout, and then pick up the existing head wall down here and dump into the 18. So there'd be literally no change in drainage pattern or flow quantities or anything. And then anything that we do on the site, we always try to use low-impact design, rain gardens and ground recharge for the roof and that kind of stuff. So all that would be attenuated separately.
That's an exposed drainage easement, right?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is, it's just a, I don't think there's any easement, it's just kind of a dug swale that it's probably been there for 100 years, that just drains the properties.
You know that's a resource area, right?
Well, that's what, that's
Yeah.
why I
That's
asked.
a resource area. We've declared them to be resource. It would be perennial stream, right?
Well, when I was there, it wasn't running at all in June and July, on two separate occasions, almost a month apart.
So it'll be intermittent, if anything.
Yeah, if anything,
More
it's,
so probably in
Mm.
there, yeah. Is this picking up any of the drain, so what you're
This-
saying is if you utilize this, you would be picking up this drainage into another plan
Yeah.
for a parking lot plan or whatnot?
Absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
we'd collect all the drainage, we'd like to recharge the storm, the roof runoff, because it's 99% pure. We don't use any galvanum roofings on any of our projects. And although now they have a new acrylic seal that you can use according to DEP, but then we use rain gardens a lot around the perimeter. We try to do pretty much idiot-proof drainage. And then we'd run the flood, design storm requirements and make sure we satisfy DPW, would meet with them ahead of time, of course. We like to spend a lot of time meeting with all the different staff members, the building department, zoning enforcement officer, DPW, Board of Health, everybody. And this is sewer, so. It's just a big tree we located. But this, it kind of goes right through here, and it's culverted here. It goes right through here. And it's real well defined. And this is a big drop inlet.
Mhm.
Is the purpose of this for a future, obviously, you're gonna pave the entire site, right?
No, actually, we usually don't. I mean, this, my understanding would be a smaller, very small branch. So we just.
I mean, the purpose of this drainage plan is for what? To,
Just to say, okay, this is what we have coming, the existing condition, goes right through the middle of the site.
Mhm.
So it's just to get it out to the perimeter. We've done it quite a few times, like the supermarket has, like drainage easements running through the middle of it, we try to always get them on the outside perimeter.
So you're trying to utilize both sites?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, it'll all be put together with
Mhm.
that site.
but the purpose is ultimately to not have to use this anymore, am I correct on that?
Exactly, yep, that'll go away.
Mhm.
It's literally just, it's probably a foot.
It is, it's
Yeah,
not much.
probably 3 feet wide or something like that?
It's kind of a mess.
Is the future plan to replicate the area that you have there?
We weren't, planning on that because I didn't, when I saw it twice dry, I was like, all right, well, this is a drainage swale. And I walked up gradient, and it looks like it picks up some overland flow off the back of, it's a condo project on the, off of South Franklin there, I forget the name, but, so it looks like it picks up some parking lot runoff off of that. It didn't look like it had any resource, didn't look like it was draining a resource area at all. We like to be conservative, so I always asked, like to percolate that, maybe.
You know if there's any vegetation in there? I mean, is it?
No, it's just bank. This is steep up here, this is real shallow here, and a little, I'll try to back right up to it. And then this is steeper here as it's dropping down. There's actually a kind of cool granite wall there that they used to build.
I think before we make any recommendations, we should look into it, see what the
Mhm.
regulations are. Do you want to give us a narrative on this? Can you give us a narrative?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so why don't you submit a narrative to the board, let us review it.
Yep.
Before, I don't want you to go through any work if we, if you can't do what you want to do, you know?
Yep.
So identify these characteristics right here,
Okay.
okay? Tell us what you want to do, show us how it's going to fit into the regulation, okay?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we'll consider it.
Okay.
And then we'll take a look at it in the
Okay.
meantime, and we'll
Yeah.
have a better idea
Yeah.
of what,
Yeah.
I know the drainage.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cut, up, like you said, it's pretty cut
I
up.
get it.
so-
Yeah.
That's fine, but I don't want to give an answer now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
No, it's better to have it in the record.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Excellent. I'll
Great.
leave that copy.
Good, we'll keep
Okay.
that trip, that'd be
Okay,
great.
great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Thank you.
Take care, nice to meet you.
Same here, thank you.
So just 2 Phillips Road, I think, Frank.
And you here just for a sign off?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my application for building permit.
What property is that?
This is,
Dean Street, Edgewood Park.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the orders of conditions.
Yep. We already signed it, right?
Yeah.
Did you record that, registry deeds?
I have not yet.
All right, you can't sign that. It's gotta be recorded. It's in the special orders of conditions, Frank,
Mhm.
all right?
Do you wanna leave this with us?
Uh,
And we just need a copy of the recording.
Okay,
And then-
can I do that tomorrow and
Sure.
submit it to you tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, because I had to give that to Mr. Moriarty tomorrow,
Oh, okay.
so I can go to the registry in the morning.
Yeah, we can't issue this without the recording information on that,
Okay,
okay? You should probably read that order of conditions, because it's in there.
okay.
So, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah, I haven't
do yourself a
received one,
favor,
so-
read
Yeah.
that, because it's important, all right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm,
Once he submits the,
Tim can
okay,
sign
so you,
yeah, or
Okay.
me, whoever's around.
okay,
can-
all right, that's
yeah,
fine, okay.
yeah, we can sign it for
All
you.
right, fair enough.
Okay.
So once,
Is
once,
that my
It's
copy?
original.
Because I never received one.
Yeah, because it was in the office, I told you. Fiona.
This is his
Yeah,
copy?
this is his
Okay.
original, yeah.
Yep.
And you're willing to take that too?
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty. Okay. Next on the list would be 2 Phillips Road. You from Phillips Road?
Yeah,
And this is,
The letter that we sent.
okay.
I'm actually Jamie McGinnis. I was here,
Who did I send that to?
I was here last year, I think in June, it's referenced in the
Yeah,
letter.
Matthew. Matthew Nichols was the old owner, the previous owner?
Yeah, so last time I was in, we had a purchase under agreement. We spoke about some drainage and come back with a site plan and stuff, and the sale of the property didn't actually happen until about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
So in that time, I kind of tried to work with Matt on dealing with this drainage thing and providing a site plan and all that. He didn't really want to lay out the money where he was selling it and blah, 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 and here we are. But now I'm currently the owner as of about a month. He received that and forwarded it to me, so I don't know,
Okay, who did the site work there?
I don't know of any site work. I know he had an issue a while back when he cleared some trees and stuff, or whatever he did down back, he had
Yep.
Logan in there.
Yep,
So I know he had an issue that was, I don't know what the issue was, but I know he had initially cleared some trees or did whatever he
Yep,
did that
yep.
somebody was angry about, and he, there was something going on there.
Well, anything on that property within 200 feet of a riverfront falls under our jurisdiction.
Mhm.
And he was under an enforcement order, okay, when he started clearing the property.
When did that go back to?
April,
Like,
Oh,
we issued it in April, didn't we?
No.
15?
That was for the that was for the, that was for the demo on the building. There was this is going back prior to
I see.
the collapse of the building.
Mhm.
14?
But there was, they cut a considerable amount of trees in the back there, and there was stumps left there and whatnot, and someone's come in and graded that all off, which was under an enforcement to begin with.
Okay.
And, material's been brought in and whatnot, all of it done without a permit,
Okay.
so.
I mean, as far as restoring it to what it was, where do I even begin? I don't know what the topography was. I don't know what he had there. I know there's still stumps in the back that are in the ground. They stand this high wherever you cut the trees down and stuff, and they're actually still in place. Some to the back left corner. I don't know how many there were, how many were removed. I don't know what he did.
Who brought the stone in?
In the left side of the property there,
Yeah.
there was stone in there from the first day I arrived there. I got introduced to the property during that demo portion of work. Must have been February of last year.
Yep.
About a year ago.
Yep.
I got introduced to it then. So whatever was there then is all I know. I know he had an issue. We went down and I happened to leave the site one day. There was an issue about a permit. He came down here to resolve that for the demo itself.
Yep.
Because I know the standard procedure for pulling a demo permit and stuff. With the collapse, National Grid was out, everybody was doing their thing, and he just kind of motored through it. I think it happened on a Sunday, and we were there on a Thursday, I believe, taking apart the structure to try to get his stuff out of there. I think it was Friday, somebody had come down, but he dealt with the permit, and eventually got the demo permit, so we did the demo work, and that was it. And at a later point, I had to talk with him about buying the property. He wanted to get out. So that wasn't until around April or so anyway, so I don't know. When I got there was snow on the ground, we had 8 feet of snow at that point. So I know when everything settled and cleared, there was a stone, gravel entryway, and
I mean, you do realize that there are some serious violations of the Wetlands Protection Act here, and this is not something that, just because you bought the property that way, you found it that way, does not preclude you from being responsible for this.
Sure.
So regardless of whether or not you did the work, you're still responsible for it. So you bought a property in violation of the Wetlands Protection Act, which you've probably exposed yourself to some pretty heavy liabilities. Now, normally what happens in something like this, if we report this to DEP, they will come down and they will fine you huge money. That's a protected riverfront area, okay? Now, regardless of how the work continued or stopped or started, there was an enforcement order issued on this property, and it was violated several times. And whether you had something to do with that or not really is irrelevant. At this point, you own the liabilities. If you're the owner of the property, you own the liabilities. So the reason for the harsh language in the letter, of course, is that because these things are usually subject to fines. Now, we can give you a very limited window to try and come up with some kind of plan to develop this property, okay? So what I'm telling you is that you would ask me what you need to do. You need to go out and hire a civil engineer to draw you up a plan of the as-built conditions that are there, and then to show what kind of property, what you want to do with the property. You can't leave it the way it is. If you try to leave it the way it is, we're gonna make you restore it back to the way it was, which that doesn't seem like it's a functional use of the property. But because the property was altered in such a way that's permanent, now you're gonna have to make up with, and that's probably, if you're gonna move forward with this property and have it developed, you're gonna have to file what's called a notice of intent with this board. And that will include a plan from a registered land surveyor and a civil engineer to give us drain calculations, how you're gonna prevent pollution into that river, and what you're gonna do with the use of that property. Any one of those projects that go within 200 feet of a riverfront are also subject to the Army Corps of Engineers, which is a federal It's a, you know, if they found out about this, they could impose their own federal fines on you, which I don't even know what they are, but I know the DEP can issue a $25,000 fine on the spot for what you did. Okay, so I'm just letting you know how serious this is, and we urge you to retain the services of a registered professional engineer immediately, if not sooner, and get this thing under control, because if not, we're gonna issue fines. I think it'd probably be fair at this point to maybe give him 30 days to come up with a plan, or somewhere in between there, and if not, then I think that the fines are just gonna start issuing from this board at probably $100 a day to start. And if we don't get compliance from there, then they'll continue to increase. And at that point, it's gonna probably be more than you can handle. So I would suggest that you get a handle on this immediately, you know,
Okay.
all right? So, just so we're clear, you're gonna have some kind of preliminary plan in front of us within 30 days.
Well,
Okay,
what's
I'm
what's
not
How
questioning
many
what you're instructing me to do, because I'm all in favor of just making it right. Is 30 days realistic to have that?
To retain the services of a civil engineer and to have some kind of plan in front of us,
Some
yeah, that's reasonable.
Okay.
Not next.
It might be-
Okay,
Follow.
so,
might be
so
tight.
why don't we, request it for, April 4th meeting?
Okay.
That's gonna give you more than,
That's almost 6 weeks.
Okay.
that's 6
Okay.
weeks. That's realistic.
Yeah.
Take the
As
existing
long as you get on
conditions and find a drainage solution for that.
6 weeks.
Your civil engineer should be able to give you, you need to be very upfront with him, take a copy of the enforcement order with you, okay?
Yeah.
Give him that enforcement order and tell him I need your services, and then let him advise you.
And the
Okay.
Okay.
person that you bought the property from, they were under an enforcement order that, to my knowledge, hasn't been lifted,
No, it was never lifted.
okay?
Yeah.
So, and they had some engineering done, okay? So there is a plan that he has of pre-existing conditions, okay? So, we need a plan of existing conditions, and then we're gonna, you know, it would be to your benefit to have the engineer look at pre-existing versus existing, and come up with a plan on how you're gonna remediate that,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
And, he should have the plan for that, because he was in front of the board with a plan, okay?
I'll go back to him.
And we can go from there, but some type of remediation is gonna have to happen, so.
Yeah, and once we hear from your civil engineer, then we'll determine if it's, at that point, if it's worthy of filing a notice of intent, in which, that's what you should have done to begin with. Okay?
Okay.
So we're working backwards to get you moving forward.
Okay,
Okay?
sounds good.
All right?
I'll get something regarding the April 4th meeting. I'm automatically coming back in by the 4th?
Yeah, your plan is due, or at least some kind of preliminary drawing, by April 4th.
Yeah, okay.
And if not, then fines are gonna start issuing.
Okay, all right,
All right?
thank you.
Thank you.
And Agnieszka has a copy of the enforcement order, I think, in the file.
I have that, that was
You,
forwarded to me.
you have that copy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask
It
you
was
one
addressed to
question?
him and, yeah.
Can I ask you one question? Was it disclosed to you at the closing that there was an enforcement order on this property?
No,
No attorney ever advised you that there was an open enforcement order on this?
I don't think it showed up anywhere.
Are they
No.
found- are they found
We did
the
title
registry?
search, we did
No.
everything.
Our enforcement orders aren't recorded at the registry, so
Yeah.
they wouldn't have found it on a title search.
Yeah,
or
just an
anything.
order of conditions on a
The
certificate
the
of
owner would have
compliances.
known,
Yeah.
but,
Okay,
regardless, it's,
okay,
it's,
that's fine. I
it's,
just
Yeah, it
wanna
didn't
know.
come up
Yeah.
in the title search or any of that stuff. I
Okay.
mean, taxes, everything was current
Yeah.
and
Okay.
nothing.
Fair enough.
All right.
All right,
Thank
see you
you.
April
Thank
4th.
you.
All right.
okay.
Did our friend from George Road ever respond?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Well, that,
This is the
there,
letter that we sent it to her. I mean, her and her attorney.
So that went to her attorney as well?
Oh, yes, we sent a certified mail to attorney and copy
Yeah, I
to
did, I
her.
saw the email copy, yeah.
I think that's pretty
Yeah,
clear,
yeah, it's pretty plain.
yeah. Okay,
Oh, it's
everyone see
April.
this?
Yeah, it's been on, so there's a couple edits.
There was just a couple addendums that we added to it.
Yeah. So what's that, do we give it an April deadline? Or-
Yeah, same
April
as,
4th. Yeah, same,
October's.
oh, it's gonna be a busy night.
Yeah, her,
Okay.
her, let's have her here because tonight.
So you didn't get a call from her attorney?
No,
No, okay.
no call, no letter, nothing.
All
I
right,
didn't have a dime,
okay. So she's got a plan that's due by that date as well?
yeah,
Okay.
and the botanist report.
Yeah. Agnieszka, can you find out from either the town manager or from somebody who might know, if we're allowed to issue any amount of fine per day? Now, it's in our bylaw that we can issue 100, 200, and 300. And I'm just not sure if, it might be a question for town council, but if we can issue a minimum, say $50 a day fine, I'd just like to know. Because sometimes under 21D, you have to state what your fines are, $50 the first day, $200 the second day, $300 the third day, and then each subsequent day after that. I think if it's written that way, I think we have to fine that way. So, what I wanna find out is, can we issue a $50 per day fine? Or even a 25?
Minutes, okay.
Maybe a couple of small things. Who are you looking to give a $50 a day fine to?
Well, it's just a general question.
Oh, okay.
You know, as to, you know, can we change the amount? Can we make it less than?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in
That's
other
his
words,
question. In other words, we can do 100, 200, or 300 a day,
Right.
but can we do, does the bylaw read up to 800, 200, or 300?
yeah, like when I issue a state building code fine, I can issue 100, 500, or 1,000. Okay, I don't have the option of issuing a 300. Now, I could take 3 separate offenses at $100 each and make it a 300 if I really want to put the effort in, but I can't mess with that sequence.
Hmm.
Oh, and by the way, Rich, I checked with my attorneys at the city of Waltham about if you are a voting member of a board, can you vote on an issue that you haven't heard? And the answer is no. What does count is the fact that you have abstained still counts as a quorum vote. So in other words, you can't vote on a issue that you have no knowledge of or that you haven't heard, because part of the hearing is that you've heard all the evidence. So you can't vote on something that you haven't heard, but what you can vote to abstain. That gives the board the quorum count. And that's how they see it, anyways. And I think I've checked with Newton, and Newton says the same thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what I was told in this building.
by who?
The guy downstairs, he's an authority on Robert's rules.
Really?
Oh, yeah, exciting thing on Roberts.
And I had asked him that.
No, I think, so what you're saying is if, let's say there was 5 meetings, or 5 meetings for one hearing, if you missed one of those meetings, you can't vote on that?
Yeah,
Even though you've been privy to-
actually how the city views it is that hearing should be moved till the next time you can make it. And I had a ZBA hearing go 6 months on something because one group member, one board member kept not showing up. Probably on purpose, but he kept not showing up. And then finally, we gave him an extension till 2 weeks ago and said, if you don't show up tough, we're gonna take a vote, But he did, he finally came, But yeah, it's because you're denying that applicant due process by not having the full benefit of the full vote of the board. That's how I understand it.
Okay, but what I'm saying is if one member missed one meeting out of the 5
He can
meetings.
still vote, only
It's
he
still
needs to
vote,
read the minutes
Yeah.
from the previous meeting.
Yeah,
that
he actually
did.
needs to look at the
Yeah.
evidence
Right,
as
as
well.
long as you're privy to all
Yeah.
the information,
If-
then
if
you
you
can
have
vote
all
on
the
it.
information, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the thing on Roberts, and it says if the vote required is a majority or 2/3 of the members present, or a majority or 2/3 of the entire membership, an absentee vote will have the same effect as a no vote.
So it would be a negative.
Yeah, even in such case, however, an abstention is not a vote and is not counted as a vote. I don't quite understand that
Right.
last piece of it.
Oh.
But this, an abstention is a no vote, which is kind of, they call it an oxymoron, because You voted not to vote. So you voted.
Was my point, that was my question to her. I said, when you abstain, if abstaining is the same as a no vote, then why are we abstaining?
Right.
You know,
Just
just
be
come out
no.
with a no, you
Should
know?
just be no.
Right.
But,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
so they
yeah,
said-
Well, you can, no, well, I mean,
Well, I suppose that'd be.
no, you can abstain from a vote if it's
If it-
somewhat conflict of interest or somewhat related.
That's
You can
exactly
abstain
Yeah.
from
what
a
he
vote,
said.
Yeah,
Right.
conflict or,
conflict of interest.
or if you
But
miss
you need to
them.
abstain from the entire hearing, not just, you can't just miss 3 meetings and then show up one day and vote.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yep,
You can't do that.
no, no, that's ethics, so. All right, so moving on, everybody okay with the minutes?
I think that's, if I may touch on that again, that's kind of like what I was talking to him about, was the minutes of the meeting.
Mhm.
Because we were having trouble with people.
Oh, yeah,
being,
yeah,
you know,
right,
listen,
okay, yeah.
It's basically, just,
I think the minutes are different, you know why? Because the minutes don't have to be voted in a public meeting. They can be
well,
voted.
yeah, but we were having a problem,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right,
Because
yeah.
someone wasn't at that one, but
Yeah,
on
yeah.
this one, and
right.
so I just said, hey,
I don't think the minutes matter, I think it's just a hearing.
the hearing makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't think the
Yeah.
minutes matter, I think you can vote on them even if you weren't here.
Yes, I think that's where I
Yeah,
was
the
trying to get
minutes.
from,
The
because
minutes definitely, yeah.
they were piling up on us.
Yeah.
There's a couple edits.
Oh, good, I can't even vote on this, I wasn't here last time. Speaking of which, I vote no,
Thanks.
just plain no, not even abstain, I'm just gonna say no.
The first one, the Dean Street Edgewood Park, where we talk about special conditions, and then it goes 48-inch corrugated pipe, blah, blah, blah. I think it should be put in quotes, that from the 48-inch over to commission, just so we know it's, yeah. Then on the next one, the little, I don't know if I got it right. It's got 2 roof drain infiltrators. And we need to insert the word "and" after infiltrators. So it should be 2 roof drain infiltrators and the trench drain across the driveway, period. Then pipes for conservation area signs are set every 25 feet as shown on the plans. The signs are not in yet, waiting for shipment, blah, blah, blah. And George Road, the last line, Bartlett's report on the wetland impact for the work performed shall be submitted. And then failure to provide the information will result in monetary fines to be assessed. And then the very last line is a motion carried as a parentheses floating. And,
Okay, do we have a motion?
Make a motion. Motion to accept the minutes
As
with
amended,
the corrections made
motion made,
on February 1st.
all in favor?
4 and 1 abstention.
oh, here we go.
Make me swear in public.
Okay,
You got bills to sign?
any new business?
No,
No.
but for the next meeting, we're gonna have one public meeting and one public hearing, RDA and NOI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's,
Westdale, George, Frank Giosso, NOI,
Yeah,
and
300
RDA
Center.
for 300 Center Street.
Yeah, down on Center Street, down the industrial park, for lack of a better name.
Oh,
I guess they're,
300, isn't that the waste place?
Yes.
yeah,
oh,
their septic system crapped out.
really?
Yeah. So,
Okay,
So,
there's been massive filling over there, so,
yeah,
massive,
so they're,
massive, yeah, we need to,
their
Um,
thing
Well,
Can-
the
can
final-
you-
and they ran perk tests through
Okay.
Board of Health and everything,
Yep,
then the
okay.
work was done.
right, okay, but we need to look at the filling that went on over there. Can you,
What was the work done
can
under
you
an
see if they
emergency
can-
permit?
Emergency, yeah, because it failed.
if you can look
So
up
they asked
Mass
us to do
GIS, okay? See if you can get data layers for different years for that property. You know, you can go on have you ever been on their database before? Okay. If one of us can go on Mass GIS,
You can
right?
probably just, I'll give Ken a call and see if he can give us
Okay,
an outlay on that.
all right, okay, because there's been massive filling down there.
Because we'll probably need a consultant
Yeah.
once, you know, depending upon what has
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, there's been a huge amount of filling going on down there. I can tell you right now, they expanded that whole back, I think they had a notice of intent back in like 78 or 79 or something like that, and it just showed a little bit of a curve off. Now it goes back like,
Could you?
gotta be a couple
Could
acres.
could you pull a file for them?
Sure.
And so that we can take a peek at that and.
Okay, do you want it now or next meeting?
We don't,
Next meeting is fine.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll just look at it next meeting. I'll try to come in. a little
When are they
early.
coming in, next meeting?
Yeah.
I'll stop up and take a look at it before
Okay.
then.
Yeah.
I'd just be curious, and then we can get an outlay so that
There's a
we
site,
kinda
that's a
have
site to
little
see
bit-
over there, yeah. I never dealt with it because I didn't really,
I'd like to have a little information before
Is
the
this,
meeting, you
yeah.
know?
If you go down Center Street,
Mass Waste,
it's on the left,
Mass
it's like
Waste,
the
yeah.
last
It is
right
a
there.
last
colonial,
one.
colonial
Is there
tree.
not? I was gonna say,
Colonial
there's a tree
trees
company
back
there
there.
also?
Yeah,
That the
it's,
same?
yes, it's that building, yeah. There's like 2 or 3 contractors in there, different businesses, but.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I kinda peek down there myself all the time.
Yeah, the IDA is separate of what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
Yes.
this is our time
Yeah,
to
yeah.
deal with
Yeah,
it.
because I said this was supposedly done as an emergency condition.
Yeah.
So, the health agent asked me, what do we do? Need to file, do we
Yeah.
need to file? I said, so I told
Absolutely.
him, since the work is done.
Yeah.
And the system's up and running.
Right.
Give us an IDA with a plan.
Yeah.
So we have something for the files.
So that'll be our opportunity to deal with that.
Yeah, so then we can,
Yeah.
I have the plan already, they submitted, because I said
Oh.
that, if you wanna look.
Could I have a copy of that? Just one copy, just so I can look that over? And if you find a file for them back in, what'd you say it was, the 70s?
Yeah. I think there
Late
was,
70s?
yeah, there was, that building's been there since either late 70s or early 80s.
we don't figure that anyway. Yeah, it is what it is.
Which is Street, Center Street, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's sitting,
Way back there,
well, it's back here.
yeah.
The fill was
Yeah,
all back
right.
here. So, okay.
Yeah, when this was constructed, back in the probably early 80s or late 70s, there was definitely a notice of intent.
I mean,
here.
all the work they did was on maintained for the septic,
Yep,
you know?
right.
But, all, as far as this plan shows, it was,
Yeah, that's just design over there.
yeah,
Design and then,
yeah, so it was under the parking lot.
yeah,
That's fine. So I don't think we're gonna have a lot to
well,
really deal.
that's okay, we don't have to issue this, you know?
So
We can deny this.
they
I know the work's already done.
conveniently left.
Yeah, of course, well, they didn't put that in, 'cause they didn't think it was an issue.
So, okay.
This is the time to deal with it, though, in public hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
Cool.
yeah, we just want an answer for it. If they can prove to us that they filled it legally, then great. And if not, then great.
Okay,
Before, I'll give this guy a call and meet him down there.
you
What's,
said the foundation's in.
oh yeah, foundation's in and.
Yeah, so, just visit the site, just make sure it's up to par.
Is that a pre-construction conference? What's he calling for, a foundation inspection?
Well, he had the siltation set up and whatnot.
Yeah, that's been set up and
Oh,
everything,
yeah.
I'll see, and I'll, you know,
Okay.
Let's see how close you were.
Oh,
they put that
God.
foundation in.
86.
It seems to
Okay.
be going pretty good.
Only 30 years.
That's parking.
Yep. So,
Look at you, huh? You just, like, instantly, those records appear and that's it. Don't mess around. It's like, oh, enforcement action. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, see, that's the lot, and all the filling is way back there. Yeah.
holy smokes.
That's a site plan right here. Okay. So, the last thing I have on record,
So then we're at-
okay, so that's Center Street. Yeah. Limit of work is right here, proposed riprap. So right where the end of the building is, right here, there's the 100-foot buffer zone. That's us, town line,
Where's the 100 foot?
right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, okay.
See this?
Yep, yep,
So they had permission to go in and do this, right?
yeah.
And now that thing is way over here. This whole thing, if you go look at it on Google Earth, you'll
I
see
don't
that.
think so, I think it's more,
Yeah,
they
it,
just
it
went
goes
back.
this way too.
it goes like way out.
Yeah.
I mean, way out.
Yeah, right. So I think over the years, it's built its way out and continued to build its way out. But yeah, that's the limit of work. That's the last thing that was approved, yeah.
Yeah, was there a dimension from the end of the building to where?
What do we have?
What's that, where your finger is?
Okay, this is 24, so
Right on Frank's finger, this way.
about $1.25 maybe?
128.
Yeah.
128
I say,
feet.
$1.25.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Only 3 feet
not
off.
bad. That's if you don't count the bricks.
Okay.
You been down there lately? That neck of the woods? You see the school they're putting up there in Franklin?
Yeah, there's actually
Is
an
that-
inflow right there
Yeah.
for that parking lot.
The school-
That's actually a head wall, a little riprap swale, and then it goes,
That's
it's supposed,
gone.
yeah.
They got like a
You
whole city
think?
back there.
They're hundreds
Yeah.
of feet past. it,
Yeah, right.
you know.
It was a hospital.
Yeah, it was a jail.
Yeah. Jail's on the other side.
Oh, that's still there?
Yeah. They're in front of us.
I wonder if there's any enforcement
Yeah,
orders.
that's not-
I was just looking.
Not like anyone there we got worried about.
Go by. Because remember, somebody wanted to put a dog park in there, the town did something. All the fellas, oh, you can have a dog park, the dogs, they'll be noisy and there'll be
Planning
traffic.
schedule, replication.
And this thing goes in, it's like, oh, okay.
But it's,
Yep.
it's the international school, right? So it's.
Yeah. And people say, oh, there'll be international students, so they won't be driving. I say, yeah, right, they're not gonna be driving. It'll be like, all these vegetarians and chaps. It'll be a freaking Washington up the neck.
It's like just before you get there, but it goes.
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah, that's
way.
right. It goes near,
It goes underneath the track.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Big
is
pile
that flood out near,
out
what's his
front of
name
the
on the other
building.
side there, or is that
I don't know
further?
what's one up there, soccer field.
That's part of the flood
Well,
plain.
he drains across the
Yeah.
road,
Right,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Felt like athletic fields for
But mark a lot.
Braintree or something?
Yeah,
We're gonna go-
mark a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Mark a little, mark a lot.
We take 10 minutes at figuring it out.
Just wondering if we have
We get the scoop from the,
Yeah.
more.
the people.
Oh,
who
you
do
that
that.
playground?
Yeah. That's one of the favorites. So.
Yeah.
The Holbrook one isn't good enough,
The Holbrook one. It's questionable
Okay,
most times a day.
Any other business?
Motion to close the public meeting.
Motion made,
Second it.
all in favor? Close.